Alright folks, welcome back. I'm having a lot of issues recording this. And so what I have to do basically is I have to Alt-Tab out quickly at the beginning of every recording session just to make sure that it's recording. Once I know it is, it's fine. I've already passed through this part again in another video, about 10 minutes. Found out that it didn't record, so let me go back and show you what I did. And this little thing of Alt-Tabbing out just to make sure that the file is recording should end up working for me. So here we snaggy the cloak. Ooh, God, my teeth hurt so bad.
Though not sure what good it will do to have just the cloak of the stranger in his hands, Graham takes the garment into his possession.
Alright, and let's take a look at it. In King's Quest games, it's always good to take a look.
That is not going to work.
You just want to look.
Graham would rather not be carrying anything touched by that evil stranger who cursed his children, but this thick black cloak is his only clue. Hopefully, it will help him discover the villain's identity. Graham would rather
No, that's not what I want to do. There you go. So you can look around a little bit on it. It's always good in these games to take a quick look at this stuff.
It hurts Graham to look at that lone altar where his daughter met her unjust and unexpected fate. He vows to save both her and Alexander, and hopefully find out who this stranger is as well.
Indeed.
Greetings, your highnesses.
Good day, Graham. I cannot tell you how sorry Oberon and I are for all that is happening.
You are most kind, my dear queen.
Yep.
I hope there is something that can be done to break this enchantment on my poor children.
So do we.
It's hard to believe that this started out as such a wonderful day to end in such tragedy.
It is truly unspeakable.
We haven't felt this much anguish since Edgar was kidnapped from our own garden. But you still have your children, and there must be a way to save them.
We can only hope. Do you think Edgar will recover from this all right?
It's hard to say. I've noticed that his fairy soul is still fragile, but he may yet surprise us.
He will recover only when his bride does.
They were both so happy these days. Rosella kept telling me these stories about how she loved your homeland so much.
It was wonderful to see her and Edgar there together, and so happy.
I'd give anything to undo what's happened to my little girl.
It must have been lovely being able to raise your own child. And Rosella is such an eager girl. All the time she spent with us, she was always inquiring about everything in sight. Etheria, Eldritch, Edgar.
That's Rosella. Just yesterday I had to tell her to stop and go take a walk. She wouldn't talk about anything else but how she never found any reference to Edgar as a child in your lands. How young was he when Lalotte took him?
I always thought it was Lalot.
Well, he,
Not long after Edgar disappeared, I commanded the lands to forget about him and never pronounce his name again, so that Titania could move on with her life and not live with the ghost of the son we never knew.
I agree. Valanice had difficult times when Alexander was stolen as an infant. Now she has to face that horror again.
You are all she has now.
I wish it could be otherwise, but she'll have to manage without me while I find a way out of this.
Who is the stranger?
Do you know who that stranger might have been?
I have no idea. But Edgar saw him just before he worked his magic on your daughter.
I already asked him. He couldn't tell.
I tried too, but all he could do was grieve over Rosella.
Don't you two want to come inside? This weather is terrible to be standing in.
Oh, that's all right. I'd much prefer to stay outside. This garden reminds me of the beauty of my homeland, and I feel at peace with nothing but the sky above me.
Fair enough.
Yes,
Psycho.
all fairies do. Even with the weather as bad as this, we do our best thinking out of doors. It helps calm our spirits. It is Titania's wish.
I understand.
Oops, sorry.
I'd better be leaving. The sooner I
No
find a way to
stitching.
help my children, the better.
Be careful, Graham.
I
Yes.
will.
Be careful.
Wonder if you can die in this game. So as I said, I've had some problems. I've tried to analyze why it records sometimes and why it doesn't, and I've not been able to come up with anything. But, hopefully my little alt-tab trick, just seeing that the file's been generated, should work. I hope. It might not, but, you know. I will get this game to work. Promise. Let's head out. This I thought was kind of funny. Episode 1. What is decreed must be. Let's see, can
Guards! Guards! Someone's trying to get... Well, fine. I'll stop if you do.
Greetings, guard.
Eh? Oh, yes. Good day. How is the king, sire?
No worse, and no better, I'm afraid. But I'm going off to seek help.
Is that true? Well, I
Yes.
wish you luck. And if you track down that fiend who has committed such a dastardly crime, be sure that he gets his just deserts.
Calm
Easy,
down,
boy.
my canine friend. What's most important is the safety of the king and his sister.
Right. Right, sire. You're absolutely right. Just do whatever's possible to help my king, and we will all be more than grateful.
Now, I found that in King's Quest VI, you can go around to the back of the castle. Unfortunately, you cannot in this one. See, going around the back of the castle actually just leads you to the front. But, look who it is!
It looks like Casima's nightingale, Sing Sing,
It's
is raising
Sing
a
Sing!
family of her own. Several noisy little nestlings are begging for food from their patient mother. She doesn't look happy in this downpour, though.
Can't say I blame her. And if you try to go to the beach... I said if you try and go to the beach... Whoa!
What?
Graham was almost killed by this tree on his way to the beach. It seems unlikely there's anything there for him to find, since the cloaked stranger clearly needed no sea vessel to come and go as he pleased. Perhaps it's just as well that the obstruction prevents for wasting his time there. Graham takes a look at the tormented tree as its branches are mercilessly caught in a tug-of-war in the winds, to the point of looking like they might even be torn off. The king can somehow relate. Inside of him, a wild storm has just begun to rage, harrowing his every nerve, at every inch of a man who has looked evil in the eye before and won, yet has never found a way to truly put it to an end for good.
Kind of dramatic. Take a look in there.
Climbing the tree will not help Graham in his quest.
Could have. Anyway, folks, I'm going to cut it off here. Let's see if I can actually, we'll save there. As always, thank you very much for watching, and please tune in the next episode. Thanks for watching, folks.